Happy Christmas. I hope everyone is doing absolutely fine on a day like this, and I hope everyone is healthy, and I hope everyone is eating well. Today, on this special day, I'm going to be taking a look through star faults and the correlation between water cymatics and the connection with water. Here you can see this is a hose connected to a speaker, and when this man turns the vibration up, the frequency, the water changes its course, and obviously particles take different formations. So here we can see triangles in these water particles. This is water cymatics I'm looking at now, and you can see triangles here as well. Also, you can see multiple geometric shapes inside. Now I'm showing you, in each one of these I'm showing you two separate stars in each one of these patterns. And these stars are made up of triangles, hexagons. And there you go, there it is. I couldn't believe it when I found it. Well, not found it, it just all clicked. I was just looking at these and I thought, Jesus, Madonna. Now look at this one. See that one in the middle that was intensed? It was triangles and stars. See, I'm wondering if each star fault was a different frequency and it did a different thing. Maybe it did different water lines, maybe it did different things to water. Maybe you felt different when you was there. Maybe some were for healing, some were for getting you in a mental healthy state, or I'm just guessing. So triangles, lines and stars now. And here we go, triangles, lines and stars. So you've got a 6-point curved star. Here it is, zoomed in, looking beautiful. Absolute bit of nature. And again, just proving, here it is, a 6 curved point star fault. So basically, star faults are just geometric patterns, vibrational frequency patterns. Or water frequency patterns, whatever way you want to look at it. And it's just incredible that whoever designed these buildings or these structures and shaped the land and redirected the canals and rivers to go to these places is absolutely incredible. To do that now, they'd make a documentary on something like that. That'd be on mega structures or something. They'd make a documentary on it. Right, it's absolutely incredible. So these star faults must have been like pumping stations or generators, because the way I'm looking at it now, and as I'm looking at the Earth grid, I'm looking at these canals and these waterways as electrical grids, but as in water. So you can see there's a correlation in nature between these frequencies and in flowers and also in food. And I wanted to go that one step further and find out what frequencies these actually were, but I've managed to get hold of them, and you can go in and have a look yourself. I know like some I think like 4, 3, 2 and 6, I can't remember them. Like every single frequency is a different meaning and it has a different outcome. So feel free, they're all there, the frequencies, and these are pretty much star fault shapes as well. So this must be the frequency of that star fault. Why else would you build that geometric pattern like this? Right, come on. I digress. So let's have a look. You got 106.9 hertz. I can't remember what God was. Was it 112? I can't remember. Or 111? So like I said, water and electric remarkably similar. So you to work out power, it would be the flow rate times the pressure, which is the current times the voltage. It's the same terminology in water. You use the same calculations to work out the same sort of stuff. I actually went to college in Malta for a month to do electrics, but I had to leave because there was a big, even though the man teaching it, the professor, was Maltese, he was speaking English, I was the only English guy in there, and it was just a nightmare. Like, he was, when someone asked a question, he'd answer back in Maltese, and it was just a nightmare for me. And apparently I was the only ever English man to go and do it, to start an electrical course there. Anyway, so you got the cable, or the water, sorry, running through the star fault. So it looked like that, just that last picture looked like it's going to a substation before it went to the star fault. And even if these fortifications or these star faults or these, whatever these were, didn't have water around them, they had aqueducts to take water there. And now I know this is true because when I was urban exploring, see the weird arrows now, that's an aqueduct. When I was urban exploring in Malta, this is what that arrow was. Now this is a fountain. This fountain's 500 years old, by the way. So I was urban exploring and I was in an abandoned subway in Malta. And I thought it was a subway anyway. And when I uploaded the video, this is it now. When I uploaded the video, some professor from the University of Malta said this is actually not a subway tunnel, this is an ancient aqueduct, and this used to convey water from Valletta, which is one major star fault, to another major star fault, which is Mdina, and this is the old capital, Mdina.
Very dark as well.
And I find that remarkable.
Looks like it's also been
and it's crazy that I was in it before I even knew what it was.
The knights.
So this is now, I'm going to give you a little glimpse of what an ancient aqueduct looks like.
It's their sort of like technique.
It was probably about 2.5 metres width and about 2 metres high. So I was extremely lucky to go and live in Malta. You can have a look at where I lived. I'll show you. It'll be on the map in a minute. I'll pinpoint it for you, and then I'll show you the road I was living down. But I was living right amongst it, I tell you. And I've spent so much time in these fortifications and underground in Malta that I should have a degree in it. But half of the stuff I've been to, I can't even put on YouTube because I weren't allowed in there. And I'll tell you, I've got some stories, some proper stories to tell you. Well, I can't tell you. Where it is now, that's where I used to live. See that block there? And that's where the aqueduct was. So that's when I went into the aqueduct, which I thought was an abandoned train station. And obviously, like I said, the aqueduct went from Valletta to Mdina, and that fountain was a little draw-off point where you can get fresh water. And this is actually my road. So you can see it's completely, it's really old, extremely old place, Malta. Especially where I am, but it seems like they just built over everything. They just covered them up the road. There's been a mud flood there, clearly, 1,000,000%. Because you just look down, you've got another couple of stories, and every single house in my old hometown of Floriana had this outside. The reason I'm showing this video anyway is because at the end of this road, one of the houses is actually Eni Malta, and they use this house as a substation, and from there you can see cables being distributed underground from there. So it goes to prove there's subterranean tunnels all under this place. Here we go. So I'll nick this video off one of my old videos, so I'm going to get a little thumbnail thing come up in a minute, but just ignore that. But if we have a look down, you can see the cables running, and it don't, oh, I can't wait to go back to Malta. You see? So there's a good layer, or a couple of levels just been covered up in Floriana. Here you have a little substation outside, and then you have the main star fault. So, and they're always dead straight lines, some of them going to these star faults, dead straight lines, some of them going on for like 50 kilometres. So Al at Al Baran. This is the oldest star fortification I could find, and it was 4,500 years old. And they say it's 4,500 years old because the mound that's outside the star fort, like the sculpted earth, they found artifacts in there that was from 2,300 years ago. So they're then saying that obviously this mound was done then, but it's history, his story. But what you can see in these pictures is this is a new part of the bastion, but the lower course is the original course, and obviously it's been in the wars and they've rebuilt it. Same old story. But my point is, you've got bastions there, and the cannon wasn't invented till the 1200 or 1300 century. So, and this is a mound where they found these artifacts. So these ain't actually bastions, these triangle parts. These are part of the cymatic frequency patterns. See here, this is actually triangles, or if you want to call them arrows. Here we go. So have another look. Triangles are arrows, and also you can see loads of other shapes inside there. And here we go. This is it in building form. Look at that. Take note of this little triangle on the right hand side. Look familiar? Maybe adding these little bits changes the frequency. Now look at either side. Right? Look familiar. Maybe this changes the frequency. Maybe these are upgrades. Maybe the one in the middle was the original and they've upgraded by adding these to change the frequency. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I'm just showing you the stuff that I found. But it's incredible. It's undeniable that these structures and the land, the terrain around it was sculpted and crafted to look like frequency patterns, cymatic water patterns. Obviously, I'm telling you, it's just an electrical grid, but it's not electrical, it was a water grid. Water must have been the power supply for people back then. I don't mean back in forever, I mean just like for that period of time, like when these star forts were about. See here you've got a another 6-pointed curved star there. Just beautiful geometric patterns, absolutely incredible. And how are you going to make this if you like without an aerial view? Like, forget about the brickwork in the middle, look at the outskirts, like with all the terrain. Like, how are you doing this? Like, it baffles me, it really baffles me. But this is the River Rhine, and what I liked about this was this picture was showing you the direction of the flow of the water, where two rivers met and went into one river. So, very well built out area, considering I think this picture was in the 1600s. Like the buildings are incredible, and just look at them bastions. Well, I call them bastions because that's what we're told they're called, but look at that. Mannheim. It's just lost knowledge. I'd love to know what happened to this. Like, which controller, which party of controllers got rid of this knowledge? It's just... Yeah, I know why, because obviously we pay with meters now, don't we? So we have to pay for electric and water and things like that now. So to have anything free and to get energy from it would be a sin nowadays. Beautiful. I don't know if that's a bridge or a tunnel going underneath, because I know there was a tunnel from Manuel Island in Malta to Valletta, which was underneath the water. I've done a lot in Malta. You should check my other videos out. I've done a lot of work where I found ancient tool cutting stuff and building services and things like that. You should check them out. They're really interesting. But there's not much left of this star fault at all. Maybe the fall of these, maybe the introduction of electricity made the fall of these star faults. You know? Because there's a lot less work going into shaping mounds to direct flows of water into places where you can just lay a cable somewhere and just shoot that electron down the cable, you know? So this is where that star fault was, and it's a new town now. It's not new as in brand new, but a couple of 100 years old maybe. There's a couple of little gems at the end that we can have a look at the end of this road. But the reason I come here is for this mound. The mound is still here. Part of the shape of the star fault is here. You've got a little Tartarian building up there with a little bit of antiquitech on top. But this is a completely straight mound, and this was obviously part of one of the mounds that held the water in. So it's like water comes through and then goes out the other end. It's like it charges everything up in there. Now this is where I found it really interesting, because what I've done here is I went to Netherlands, and you can do this yourself. You can literally zoom in, find a canal or a river, a straight one, and follow it, and just see where you end up. And I bet you any money on the way you'll come across a handful of star faults. Well, crumbs or reminiscence of star faults. You know, you'll see bastions covered up in grass, or you'll see terrain shaped like bastions, you know. But look, I just want to show you street view how perfectly straight these canals are. Absolutely perfectly straight, and they go on for miles. Like yesterday I was just following one canal, and it was going over 50 kilometres. So it's like, to me, cables go into a house, water go into a star fault. So this is the, I'm just going to follow this man-made canal now. I'll take you on a little trip, because it's like a little ring, this one. I'll show you. So it takes you to this star fault. So this is obviously, this will energise this place. Anyone living in there will have obviously the most important thing they need to live, water. And obviously they'll have free energy in a form of water. So they must have had like steam stuff or something. I don't know, I'm guessing. So anyway, that one's still there, and that's an absolute beauty of a star fault. So let's carry on following this little canal. Well, big canal. It's a shame, really, that these places are gone. So anyway, so again, I'm following it perfectly straight. We have these two circular things either side. I don't know what that was for. I can, like, my mind runs through so many different things. I imagine water running through them and spinning round. I don't know why. So anyway, I'm still following this canal. It tees off here. There's actually three next to each other in a line, and it branches off into each patch of field. So I'll follow it around this way. So it just reminds me of rings, like electric rings. Perfectly straight. Perfectly straight. How can you do that without lasers? Honestly, when I lay pipes, say if I'm working in a corridor and I'm laying a pipe that's, I don't know, 30 metres. Without a laser, you are going to find that quite hard, because without a laser, the wall has to be straight for you to take that measurement off the wall. So I don't even know how you do that in an open space, get something completely straight. But here, you see now where the river now curls round. Maybe this is natural, but we come to a star fault. Maybe this is natural, or maybe this was to restrict the flow, or I don't know. Maybe it's to make the water move about more. Maybe energise the water before it went to the star fault. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm not saying this is what it is. And then back to the start. So that was just like a little ring, like a little electric ring. But on the way we see 3 star faults. But you can do it yourself. Anywhere in Amsterdam you can go. Like, you can just go. I'll do it now. I'll go anywhere just to prove to you. Like, obviously for the last few days I've been looking at this place, but I'm literally just going to go anywhere and have a look. And I'm going to follow. As soon as I see a straight line, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to measure this one. Look, you can bet your life at one point there's a star fault here. Look, you can see the little triangle bastion bit right next to the name. So this is dead straight. So a lot of these names that I'm seeing, I've been online, I've seen a lot of these names as star faults. But there's just so much to do to research. So I'm just going to measure this now, just to give you an idea and show you how great whoever done this stuff is absolute geniuses. So we've got to 12 kilometres here, 16 kilometres. So twice it dips in, but it's done on purpose because it's done with 2 completely straight lines. And then back to where it was. So there must have been something there, or again, maybe it was to slow the speed down of the water. I'm just guessing, that's just me being a plumber. So I'm just having a look here, you can see another star fault. Again, like I said, you follow these rivers or these canals and you come across it all. It's so easy. So just from there to there, we've got 23 kilometres. From the coast, inland, dead straight canals, taking it to a star fault. And on the way, I swear there would have been a couple more, but I didn't research them other places because I'd have been there for forever. But you can see the water tees off in different directions to feed other parts of land in completely straight canals. Man-made, all man-made. So now I see this, I see all these as like underground cables basically, going to other cities. Like massive armoured cables, you know, underground. Because that must have been the energy back then, clearly. You bet your life there would have been a star fault here, 1,000,000%, but it's not there no more. So I've followed this so far 51 kilometres and it's all straight lines. There must be millions and millions and millions of kilometres. Who made this? Who cut this out? Who oversee the projects? It must have been done over a long period of time, not just done overnight. Like, there's so many of them, like, throughout the life of this civilization. See, the one that series looking at Lille there. So Lille in France was just one massive star fault with a river running through it. And another thing I noticed, they always sometimes, not always, sometimes, a lot of the time they have their little substation next to it, like a little backup power plant. But if you can see now, the star fortification from Lille is not there no more. Again, you're just left with an outline of trees representing the bastion, and you'll have a little old town with a cathedral in there and a river running there. But you can see geometric patterns just in the streets. Let's have a look. Nicosia. So this is in Cyprus. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this picture, I believe, was in 1594 or something like that. So when I say these dates, this is when the picture was illustrated. Not much left of it now. Look. So that building then could have been a couple of 100 years old, even 1,000 years old. But that's just when the picture was illustrated. So there's not much left of it. They've done a good job to cover a lot of this stuff up. So I'm zooming in now on Google Earth. Abdi Cavers. And also, what's my elevation? Can you see this on Google? No, you can't see it. I'd like to know what my elevation is. For me to see it, an aerial view like this, someone else had to be that high up as well. And we're talking a long time ago. So these are the buildings inside that are left over. I don't know if they're original. And another thing is, I don't even know if the buildings that are in, like the oldest buildings in the fortifications now, I don't even know if they're the original buildings in the star forts. Who knows? Anyway, I'll leave you there with that one. Water patterns, cymatic water patterns and star faults.